What's going on? My name is Zac Holcomb. This is the Kickin With podcast. Today we've got Tommy Mattocks on. Welcome to the show, Tommy.
Hey, thank you. Look forward to being here.
For sure, for sure. What episode we got on this? Is episode 15?
15, yes, right.
Episode 15. 15 episodes in like 5 weeks, man.
Yeah,
We've been going hard. We
Yeah.
took Thanksgiving week pretty easy, but other than that, we've been 3 a week. I think we've been trying to push out pretty consistently. Consistency is key, they say.
It's popular. I've seen several of them.
Yeah, you've been checking it out. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching them for first off, and then second, thanks for coming down. I wanted to chat about a whole bunch of fun stuff.
When I started seeing them, I said, I want to be on that show.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. We're trying to drive up that demand, you know what I mean? And then maybe we'll have to like start not taking calls from people someday if we get that famous. But anywho, we're all working on getting there. Well, anyway, man, I wanted to bring you down and talk about a couple of fun things. Obviously, you know, a lot of people know who you are, kind of like a local legend, some may say, around here. I would say like, you know, one of the first, you know, guys that, at least in my opinion, from like the, you know, the ball playing days and things like that. I mean, a little bit about
The best part of that is they didn't have that Wikipedia thing back then. So
yes.
The older I get, the better I was.
Yeah,
I
can
tell people I was an All-American, and they can't go back and check up on me. So.
Right. There's no. Is there video? Is there video? Do you have video of the NC State days at all?
Not really. There are some around, but I don't have a collection of them.
Okay. I was just curious. Since you seem to be quite the documentary person, at least on Facebook. You always got pictures of hanging out at the dance.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much everything that you do is on Facebook. I would say, hands down, you're the most prolific, when I moved here, most prolific user of Facebook.
You know what? People cuss Facebook and talk about how bad it is and all that, but if you use it right, to me, it's one of the best things going. And I try to use it right because I try to pat people on the back more than I try to run people down.
Yeah.
And so you go out and you take pictures of people doing something good or whatnot. I went to a couple JV games this year, and how many times do you see JV players on Facebook? You always see the varsity players.
Yeah, true.
I went to South Lenore and took pictures of the JV cheerleaders. All you see is the varsity cheerleaders. So I try to get around, go to the ball games and take pictures of the ushers who are working hard and stuff like that. And so to me, Facebook, I love it.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm a big fan. I like it too. I like you're definitely like one of the most refreshing pages to follow in town because it's always all good stuff. You know, everyone can get drug into some of the negativity from time to time. Not myself. I would never be negative on Facebook. I'm always positive.
I always say on Facebook, if you're looking something to read, you hit the jackpot when you hit my page.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Not only do you get a full book of photographs and maybe potentially some video. You're getting copy. I mean, I feel like I'm a member of the seniors dance night, and I've only been one time, and that was pretty much just to catch you walking out that one night on election night, actually.
Well, it started that if I'm looking on Facebook and I see something, if it interests me, then I feel like it interests somebody else, and I share a lot of stuff that I've seen on Facebook for no other reason. But boy, that was interesting. This past week, I took a picture of a house under a cliff somewhere in Italy or Spain or somewhere. And I was like, why would anybody even build a house there? But they were talking about the architect. It was interesting, but I wouldn't live in it. Yeah,
you've been – it's funny you say that. Like, so you've been sharing some pictures of like, crazy, awesome, cool architecture. It's real photographic, but whatever it would be, photographic. Can you have photogenic architecture? Anywho. I didn't go to college, so I don't know. But you would have you've been sharing like those pictures, and I'm like, so I stop and look at them. And now in my feed, like my suggested for you is like all these travel photos of these like ridiculous looking locations. And I'm like, I think that I'm being suggested and fed the same pages that you're finding these photos on. I appreciate it.
I stopped on a page where this one girl was playing a fiddle and clogging. And by nighttime, I had
That's all you see.
My Facebook page had flooded me. I'd seen 10 pictures of her by nighttime.
Yep, that's funny.
4 hours later.
That is hilarious. I know. I love how they have the algorithm figured out, man. They know how to give us what we want. I was getting my hair cut the other day at the Red Fox Salon. I always want to call it the saloon because it just sounds like it would go. But I was over there hanging out with Mary getting my hair cut, and I don't look up particular shoes, like Golden Gooses. These like shoes that chicks wear. I'm never looking him up. I'm never even talking about him. Well, and she didn't even mention it by name while we were there, but she was wearing them, and her phone was sitting on the counter, kind of like, and my phone was like 3 feet away from it. I comes back over here like 2 hours later on my phone, and all of a sudden I had a Golden Goose Shoes sponsored ad in my Facebook feed, and I walked right over, and I was like, "This is ridiculous." We didn't even mention it, but our phones were so close that it picked it up.
Oh, we were daggone.
It's nuts.
It's amazing.
At least that's what I believe. But well, what you got the new edition of the Tommy card? You're out and about right now. I wouldn't say pushing them because you're not a pushy salesman, but you're out pushing them around and getting them out there into the community. Tell me about the Tommy card. What is it? And why does everyone need one that lives in town? Because it pays for itself basically in 2 days.
Yeah, I started this business like 15 years ago, and it's not a business. It's a hobby more than a business because I don't care if I sell one or not. I think it's a great thing. People, when I try to sell them one, think I'm trying to scam them and just steal $12 from them. But it's if you just go and just use it a couple times, it's a card where certain businesses have agreed to give us a 10% discount just for shopping in their business. And when I got the idea, I went to King's first, and Joe Hargett said, "Yeah, we'll try that." I said, "Well, I'm going to advertise your business. I'm going to set up a page, and I'm going to advertise that you honor the Tommy card. And I'm going to try to get all these people to kind of focus to come in on you because you do honor it." And so anytime you would go to King's, they'll give you a 10% discount just because you got a Tommy card. And the Tommy cards are good for a year, or else I wouldn't make any money. If I just got them and give them out, it would be useless for me. But it's more of a goodwill thing because I give them to the coaches at North Lenore, South Lenore, Kinston, Arundel Parrott, and Bethel. And it's just a goodwill thing because I was a sports mind and they're all friends. And they can save money with them if you use it once a week. You can save $50 on a $12 investment. But when I was single and nobody was cooking for me, I'd eat out 8-10 times. So I was saving $500 a year just on that Tommy card and not even trying. But also, again, I would pick out, I'm going out to eat. Who's on the Tommy card? I'm definitely going there so I can save the money. And there's 16 businesses. There's like 5 or 6 restaurants, a hardware store, dry cleaners, 2 car repair places, a car wash, a towing place.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything. I mean, like the ones that we were kind of talking about it off camera, like I totally forget about using it at half the places that I go to. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. And then I use it for like 3 days and I make $12 back again. And it's like, oh, my goodness, it's crazy. If I could just remember to use it all year long.
I got one customer at Farm Bureau, Jimmy Parks. He buys one every year, and he buys one for every employee there at Farm Bureau. And, you know, he thinks it's well worthwhile and it's a goodwill gesture. And so I push them more at this time of the year because now you could buy one and put it in a stocking.
It is great.
It's only $12, and you're going to save that man $100 or more next year.
Yeah, it's just like buying someone lottery tickets, except for you're buying a guaranteed winner like every day. I mean, pretty much. You think about it. Or you can use it like the best way to use it is when you go to some of these places, you just go ahead and roll that 10% savings right into that tip for your server.
Yeah.
Just pass it right on down, roll it down the hill.
There you go.
Jerry's thinking that he's thinking you need one.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get a few.
He's probably going to pick up a couple.
I sold one already.
I think so. Maybe he'll get him for the fam too. You never know.
Do you take money digitally, or does it have to be cash?
Yeah, that's a good question. Do you take Venmo or Cash App, Tommy?
No, I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, we'll have to get cash out. Yeah, that is funny. That's a good question. Good lead. We're gonna have to get you the Tommy Mattocks Cash App going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can set that up. We can help you. That leads us into our first sponsor of the show. We'll try and go quickly here. Big Bark Social. Did you know that Big Bark Social is a sponsor of the Kickin' It With podcast? No. Probably not, because I don't mention it enough, and I've been catching a lot of flack for it from the boss, Stephanie. So Big Bark Social is Stephanie's business. She does a whole bunch of branding, graphic design, video editing. We also, Jerry and myself, she graciously allows us to work there as well from time to time. We could produce podcasts for people, do video stuff, do little video graphics, all sorts of random fun stuff.
Smart lady, that girl.
Yeah, she tries. She keeps it. She tries keeping us together a little bit. She tries to hold me down a little, pin me down, give me times I got to be places which is good. Keeps me honest.
You need holding down at times.
I do. That's what I mean. She does a good job of it. It's a good yin and a good yang for sure. For sure. Well, I was talking to someone the other day. I think it was Brian. I was discussing how we mostly got to see you and meet you so much from the baseball games.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. I was lucky I've been in sports all my life. When I played in high school and went to college, and then I spent 4 years in service. And when I come back, I got into refereeing. And, boy, that was the most rewarding thing for me. All you hear now is negative stuff about refereeing and the fans hollering at them and all that. I didn't have that. But I think I was unique. I think I tried hard. But I would get to places early. I wouldn't give them a reason to holler at me. I tried to use common sense. But I've been a sports person all my life. And I come back to Kinston, and I even umpired some Kinston Indians games. And then when the Wood Ducks came, I went to Wade and said, I wouldn't mind working out here. What do you got? He says, special scores. Well, I've never been special scoring all my life. I didn't tell him that.
Right, yeah.
I said,
smile.
Well, yeah, I'll take that, And so he gave me the job, and I never kept score one time.
Nice.
But I'm familiar with all that.
You know the game, yeah.
And I got some of the guys that are good friends of mine were official scorers. That when I travel around calling college ball, and I would meet them and all this stuff. But so I got in the book, and I read and read and read and read. And I was the official scorer for 4 years. And the best compliment that Brian Hanks ever gave me was I never missed a game. I was official scorer for the Wood Ducks for 4 years. Never missed a game. And I would always beat the game 2 hours early. So never one time did they say, wonder where Mattocks is. Is he coming today?
Yep.
You ain't gonna if I'm gonna work for you, you ain't got to worry about whether I'm gonna be there or not.
I was like today, we said 2 o'clock, 1:40, here he comes, boom, pulling up. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Never waiting. It was good. It was good. I mean, that was kind of, I think I was telling Brian about it. That was kind of like the awkward parts of like us hanging out at baseball games is you're like the umpire or referees guy, and then I'm generally that guy that's giving it to the referee or the umpire. So it was kind of fun. It was funny. You'd come down and be like hanging out, and we'd be like, oh my God, that's a terrible call. That was a strike. And you'd be like, oh, that's so-and-so. He's actually a really nice guy. And I was like, I'm sure he is, Tommy. I'm sure he is. And you're like, I've known him for this long, and he's done this. It was really funny.
Probably umpiring was the best thing ever happened to me as far as being the official scorer, because we'd be sitting up there in the booth and something would happen and they'd send a player to second base or something, and everybody turn around, what happened? Why did you do that? Umpire interference on first base. The first baseman blocked the bag from me.
Gotcha.
Because I had the background of an umpire, I think it made me a much better official scorer. I knew what was happening.
Yeah.
Without them having to call up there and tell me.
Exactly. And then that is a game where that's definitely a thing too. I mean, like, there's so many different layers of watching a baseball game. So like knowing and having seeing all the things that are usually unseen by the commoner of a game definitely makes you a better scorer for sure. That's like what I like about the game. Like people that say that baseball is boring, you just legitimately don't understand what all is going on, because there's so much stuff going on in a baseball game that like in between pitches, even like it's just crazy. I love baseball I never even played because I took a baseball to the nose in first grade and I was terrified of them the whole rest of my life. I'm still kind of afraid of catching baseballs because it's got like PTSD.
I was amused when I'd come down there and get in your box and watch you get on the players, you get on the third base.
Yeah, the third base coach.
Third base coach for the visiting team,
which is usually the manager.
Get in front of you and you give him.
Yeah. We autographed a ball for one of them this year.
Did you?
Yeah, we got a baseball, and he was. I can't remember who it was, but he was the whole series. Man, he was real good with us, and we were giving it to him pretty good. And the whole box signed a baseball, and then so we met him. He was like walking, down the third baseline at the end of the game, And we yelled out. I yelled out for him, and I threw him like a ball. Threw him the ball, and he like caught it and reached down in his pocket to pull like a marker out, like to sign it for me. And I was like, no. We signed that for you. You can hang on to it. But it was pretty funny.
That probably is trophy case.
John said that he thought he said because after that I was like, man, that could probably be running out in the field and throwing a baseball at the opposing manager. It could be seen as being a little bit across the line. And then I think like 2 days later, Clemens saw me and he was like, that manager mentioned how much fun he had with you guys. He told us to let you guys know he had a great time this week. And so I thought it was fun.
Oh, I want to say this before we get too far along. Brian Hanks was on here the other day and he turned his hat around. When you called and asked me to be on, I had a 2-day growth. And then you canceled and said you were going back to Ohio and it would be a week later. I wouldn't shave. My wife kept saying, when are you going to shave? I said, I ain't shaving until I go on that guy's program.
That's it.
I want to be like Mikey here.
It's coming in good, yeah.
I want to come in here and I would wear my hat backwards, but I can't wear a hat with this thing on here.
Yeah, we made him put the
before we leave,
on.
I'm going to pull these off, put my hat on backwards.
We'll do it for the thumbnail,
but
for
to
sure.
me, the biggest form of flattery is imitation, and boy, I want to be just like this guy. This guy came to town. He didn't care who saw him or what it was. He was wearing his hat like he wanted to, like it or not. And now all of a sudden it's a mainstay here. We expect Caesar to be like
it's kind of rubbing off, man. I've seen, I think it's starting to spread out a little bit. A couple more reverse hat wearers I've seen in town. So, we got.
I thought you was bald for 2 months.
Yeah, I know.
Stephanie finally put a picture on of you without your hat, and he said, hey, he's got hair.
Yeah, much to, I guess a lot of people might not know that, but I've got flow. I've got flow. And, it used to be much thicker than it is now, but I'm starting to get the silvery stuff. I'll be 35 in a few months.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's real. It's happening. I've got this weird. I think I'm starting to get like arthritis in my fingers and stuff and my toes. I've been really complaining about it lately. Steph's like,
we got this lady at the senior dance just turned 103 and she still dances.
Exactly. That's awesome. Excuse me. I think I got one of those flies. Jeez. I never have that happen. We've had all these flies in here lately because we've been cooking seafood. We open the garage door and they smelling. They come in. So we've been go down to Lester's and I got 10% off on my.
Go down to Reynolds and get 10% off on your seafood too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Dang it! I told you I keep forgetting about places. I just spent like $100 there the other day. But again, they always give me a good deal, so I feel like. I don't want to hit them for the extra 10. Maybe I'll tell them up front, like, I'm using this today. So don't give me like 12% off because I'm going to get 10.
Sure you will.
Dang it. Reynolds Seafood is on there too. I completely forgot about that. Again, I literally went there Friday night, I think. Man, another good spot.
Yeah. And,
did you know I hadn't been there?
They do a lot of extra stuff, too. They cut up your French fries for you and they got all the seafood battered like a grocery store in there.
Yeah, it's like everything you need to cook what you're picking up there. Very smart. Very smart how they have the seasonings and the sauces and stuff. Yep, the French fries. Yeah, that place is awesome. I hadn't been there. I lived here for 3 years before I'd went in. And I just did maybe 6 or 8 weeks ago, went in there for the first time. Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Shame on me.
And look, the owner was my best friend, J.C. Reynolds. And he used to drive to Washington every day in the mornings. He'd get up like at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and drive to Washington and pick up the seafood and bring it back in time for them to open at 6 or 7 o'clock. And now they finally got where they've got a truck comes from Wilmington every day.
Nice.
They bring you fresh seafood, so the food in there is fresh.
Yeah, yeah. It's like which size shrimp would you like? I mean, they've got medium, large, jumbo. You're like whatever you're taking home later. He's usually like, I'm taking home whatever we don't sell. But no, it's a good spot. Definitely a good spot. So tell me about this. You kind of got into it a minute there, but tell me about the senior dance night thing. Like I said, I feel like I'm a member because I see so many pictures.
Oh boy,
you got quite the crew out there.
Look, my wife of 40 years died, and I was just sitting home putting puzzles together and watching Perry Mason reruns, and my brother has played that dance for years and years and years. So after about 14 months after she died, I decided I'm gonna go to that dance and hear my brother play.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't dance with anybody. I went out there for 8 months and never danced. And then all of a sudden, this one lady caught my eye. Good God, she was beautiful. And I kept going by there, and I finally got nerve enough to sit down beside of her. And we started dating, and boy, it just soared. And so that dance, I hadn't missed a dance since I went the first time. And that's now over a year.
Nice.
It's like 14, 15 months. I've not missed a dance. And it's not so much that I'm crazy about dancing. I'm crazy about the people and the friends there, and it's just fun. And before I ever went, I thought, a senior dance, man, that's a bunch of old people sitting around and maybe 3 or 4 of them dancing. Mm-hmm. No way. Good God, every one of them dancing. They're good dancers.
Yeah.
I mean, they go out there. They want to dance so bad till when the band takes a break and they play music over the loudspeaker, they still go out there and dance. So if you want to visit any of them, you better get there between 6 and 7 before the band starts. Between 6 and 7, you can get in and sit around and talk. Okay. Once the band starts, they ain't talking to you no more. They got there on the dance floor.
Yeah, they're out there going.
And it's funny, people ask, well, is there enough men to – based on the women and so forth, it don't matter. Heck, if the men don't come around and ask the ladies soon enough to dance, they'll get out there and dance in a group by themselves.
Yep.
You see 5, 6, 8 women out there just going to town.
Nice.
And it's really, really fun. And now I go because I want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a thing that I plan. Nothing else is going on Tuesday night. I'm going to be at that dance.
Mm-hmm. I know. I remember when you told me at the beginning of the baseball season, you're like, I got this new thing Tuesday. Is that you won't see me? And I was like, what do you mean you won't see you? He's like, nah, I do the dancing now.
And they got 4 good bands that you don't see the same band
them
every time. Most other singles clubs are folding because they ain't got enough people. And most singles clubs and seniors clubs are once a month. Mm-hmm. Ours is every single week, and we got 4 different bands that play each week. One band plays the first Tuesday, one band plays the second Tuesday every month, and people's got favorite bands, but it don't matter whether they're favorite band or not, they're going to hear the other bands.
Still showing up, yeah.
And so we still have 80 to 100 people just about every week out there.
That is crazy. That's so much. I know when we drive by, like sometimes we see like all the cars in the parking lot. It's like, what is going on over there on a Tuesday night? And you're like, oh yeah. It's the seniors dance night. It's packed out. It's got to be one of their better nights.
Yeah.
For cars in the parking lot.
Yeah.
What days is it? So it's Tuesdays,
just
and the doors open at 6. You said band starts at 7,
and the bands play from 7 to 10. So it ain't an all night thing, and they don't keep you up to 12 o'clock. My brother loves it. My brother's a musician, and he was super good, and would play these bars where they started at 9 o'clock and played to 1, and he'd get home at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. All the bands play from 7 to 10. So if you stayed to the last song, you can still be home by 10:30.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the very latest, probably grab a milkshake on the way.
We normally leave about 9:30 because we're old folks. We need to get our rest.
Yeah. Yeah, you turn into a pumpkin about 10.
Yeah.
So.
It's a lot of fun, and we got a lot of friends. When I went there the first time, I probably knew half of them already, and I didn't expect that. Mm-hmm. And then I'm an outgoing person, and I started taking pictures, and that just gave me friends quicker. And it was funny is that when I started taking pictures, can I take a picture and put it on Facebook? I always ask that. I never want to put somebody's picture on Facebook that don't want it on there. Mm-hmm. And, no, don't put my picture on Facebook. And then the next week they come by, well, yeah, I've changed my mind. Put my picture on.
Yeah, I'm all right.
And now I walk by. You ain't put my picture on yet.
Yeah, I've not been. Yeah, I looked all week last week. I didn't see it. Yeah, that's funny.
They do. It's amazing.
That is awesome. I've been seeing, you mentioned it a little earlier, you're eating out like 8 or 10 times a week, but now I'm scoping out all these like home-cooked meals and things.
I married a cook.
How did you get so lucky?
I married a cook. I didn't marry her for her cooking. I married her for her smile and her beauty and how warm-hearted she was. But damn, if I didn't get a cook in return, And look, computer, good God Almighty, she's the best thing on the computer.
Really?
I got old computers, and the daggone thing will hang up and stop, and she'll come over there, hit that button right there, and hit that button, and here we go. I'm back in business.
I like it.
She's amazing with all this electronic stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know, you got a good stable of grandkids coming from Glenda, right?
I had 6 already on my side, and now we got 5 on her side,
Nice.
plus some step grandkids and stuff. So we got a whole passel of grandkids.
Well, that helps with the electronics problems. You know, you're never out when you got 10 or 11 youngsters running around. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's what our kids are like right now. We got them in the homeschooling, and they just run around on tablets and do their schoolwork after we yell at them to quit playing games and actually do the schoolwork. But it's crazy how they're coming up knowing like all of this stuff. It's crazy, kids.
Well, look, my wife is here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Can we get her to come up here and sit down and just be with us? Come on up
Yeah,
here.
I think so. I think we should do it.
Come on up here, honey. Just sit down and just be with me. Hold my hand.
Yeah, Tommy promised that we would get extra views, especially.
Oh, her family's bigger than mine.
Yeah.
Both number-wise and side-wise.
Yeah.
She's got one boy that's 6. She's got one boy that's 6'8". 6'8".
How tall are you?
I say yes, sir, to him. I'm 6'2".
6'2". I thought you were taller than that.
And so I go up to him and say, yes, sir, no, sir.
Yeah.
And then one of them's a deputy sheriff. Oh.
Yeah. I've run into him before, in good terms, cigars. I need to hit him up for one of those concealed carry classes, though. I'm due. I still have my Ohio one, and he's informed me that doesn't really fly. Yeah. So I'm going to have to hit him up. I know he was doing a class like a couple of days ago. Now I get his stuff in my feed now, too. Because you share it, then he shares it, and then it's in my stuff. And I'm like, look at this. I'm like following the concealed carry training courses around here all of a sudden now, too.
Y'all see this gal dance.
Yeah.
God,
so you're the one. Yeah, you're the one that gets him all into the dancing stuff.
Yeah. She can do it, and everybody wants to sit with her.
Yeah, I know you got to watch those hands too. That's why you got the camera.
Oh, Roger Paramore, I'm calling you.
Is he on your list?
Now. Come on, Roger.
Oh, I love it. That's hilarious. Well, cool, man. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming out here on this fine Sunday and to hang out.
Oh, it was fun. I knew it would be. Whenever you asked me, I said, I can't wait for this.
Absolutely. Yeah, sorry about the cancellation. We had a little, not super duper emergency, but just a little family medical thing. But I like it. Yeah, I think he should keep it. Yeah. Mine has a length, too. There's 2 lengths that I don't do because I'd never, ever shave it all the way down. I haven't, like, actually with a razor. I'm 34, 35. I was maybe, like, 19 the last time. So I've like always operated in the stubble-ish plus. But there's when it's so short that it's like Velcro and like anything sticks to it, that's too short. And then when it's so long that like a dog hair can get lost in it, it's too long. So that's where I operate.
A beard connoisseur.
Yeah, no oils, no fancy.
Well, look, at least yours is the right color. Mine's coming in the wrong color.
Yeah, I'm pulling the white ones out, but they do exist, and they're definitely getting more silvery now. I think it's all the stress.
I try to cut the individual ones out of my eyebrows. My eyebrows are still colored, but my beard ain't.
Yeah. Nolan was hitting me up with that a couple of cuts ago. He was like, "You want me to hit the eyebrows a little bit, maybe clip them a little shorter?" And I was like, "I think I'm good." And he was like, they look good anyway." And I was like, "Man, that's a guy that knows how to please." He was like, "You want me to hit the?" I was like, "No." He's like, "You look great anyway."
I got a new barber too.
What?
I didn't know it, but she cut hair last time.
What's the name of your salon? Do you have a catchy name for your home salon? No. I opened COVID cuts during the pandemic. I was doing myself. Yeah, COVID cuts. And Julia worked for COVID cuts for just a blip. She gave Grant a little buzz at the shop once. Yeah, old Julia. But anyhow, well, cool, man. Well, I appreciate y'all coming out. We're doing these new. We're clipping them and putting them out.
This was fun.
Good time. We'll get we'll definitely hit the thumbnail photograph with your hat on backwards so that all the folks, that'll be the one that goes up when we share it. It'll be episode 14, right? 14? Ha! Episode 15.
Yeah.
Tommy Mattocks, and it'll be that picture.
All right.
We'll definitely get Glenda in the picture too, just so people pay attention to us.
Perfect. Perfect. That'll get you some viewers there.
No.
Yeah, we want a 20% increase in views just from Glenda Connection. So
Yeah,
if you're out there, go ahead and hit us up. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you for having us.
For sure.